How Prince Bertie became Bertie the Frog. Hi everybody, this is Natasha, and I'm dropping by with a piece of gossip I just picked up about His Royal Highness Prince Bertie the Frog. As you know, Bertie used to be a handsome prince, but now he's a frog, and he's a bit sad about that, which is why he listens to story-nories on his iPod to cheer himself up. Well, until now, it's always been a bit of a mystery as to exactly how Bertie was turned into a frog. Colin the carp, who lives in the pond with Bertie at the bottom of the garden, has been going around whispering things behind Bertie's back. He's been telling the other creatures that Bertie never was a prince really, and that he's just making it all up about his royal blood.
"Any creature can see he's just a frog," said Colin. "And a very green and ugly one at that too."
Sadie the swan ticked Colin off for telling lies about Bertie, but Colin wouldn't stop carping on about it until, that is, this morning, when he was swimming along the bottom of the pond and bumped into something with his head.
"Ow!" said Colin. "My head hurts."
And he saw stars in the mud at the bottom of the pond. While he was still in a daze, whatever it was that he had bumped into became loose and started to float to the top of the pond.
"Which silly creature left that there?" said Colin crossly.
A minute later, he heard some very happy croaking on the surface. Bertie the frog was saying, "Hey everybody, look! That's my skateboard. I haven't seen that since the day I was turned into a frog." All the other creatures swam over to admire the skateboard, which was floating on the water like a boat. "When I was a prince," boomed Bertie, "I was the champion skateboarder of the entire length and breadth of the kingdom." And with those words, he dived off his lily leaf, swam over to the skateboard and hopped up onto it. Little Tim the tadpole was mighty impressed and applauded his froggy friend. "Oh, Bertie," swooned Sadie the swan, "you learned to do so many wonderful things when you were a prince." Bertie sat on the skateboard in the sun and thought about the old days, when he used to live in the palace, and when he had thousands and thousands of toys and used to eat lovely gooey chocolate cake every day for tea. He felt a bit sad when he thought of how wonderful life used to be. "You know," he croaked, "there was nothing in the whole wide world that I loved more than my skateboard, apart from my iPod, and my prince's sword, and chocolate cake, and oh yes, and the lovely Princess Beatrice, to whom I was engaged to be married."
"Boring,"
said Colin the carp.
"There he goes again, on about the lovely Princess Beatrice. I don't believe that he was ever engaged to a princess. What self-respecting princess would want to marry Bertie? He's far too stupid and ugly."
Colin is not known for being polite, but even by his grumpy standards, this was just too rude for words. Sadie the swan hissed at him so crossly that he thought it was a good idea to dive to the bottom of the pond and pretend to be a lump of mud.
"It's all right,"
said Bertie. "Who cares what Colin thinks? He's just a silly carp who banged his head on my skateboard." Tim the tadpole, who was a very inquisitive creature, started to ask Bertie how it was that he used to be a prince and how he became a frog. Sadie the swan was also dying to know, but she was too polite to ask. Bertie looked embarrassed, but Tim wouldn't stop asking. "Go on, Bertie! Tell us! Do tell us!" So after a while, Bertie explained that it was all to do with the very same skateboard upon which he was now sitting. I was nearby